Greetings, one and all, to the most cursed, most cringiest corner of the internet. A YouTube channel content creator actively alienating everyone in both the analog and digital world. Well, welcome and good evening, wonderful dice, all alignments. I am Lunar D8. This is Let's Play SinnerS. That being said, there is a game that was recently on sale that I bought that I was interested in doing a Let's Play of. It's called LunA. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. Pull that back up so I can read it. Notch the Innocent, Luna, Eclipsed, Sinner. It'll be in the title. Is OBS still working? Bah, okay. OBS is fine. But yeah, for whatever reason, OBS, like, the game launches just fine. I've had other games where it won't launch, and other games, but this is a very unique error that OBS has given me that I don't really understand. But I'll tell you this: I bought the game, but I'm gonna hold off on playing it for now, so that if maybe one day I actually am able to Let's Play it, I can play the game blind. Now, that being said, Notch was suggested by a viewer who's been enjoying the SinnerS game. So, someone who's actually been enjoying this series, one of my viewers actually suggested that game, and I looked at it, looked interesting, and it was on sale for, I think, 65 or something % off, and it wasn't that much, so I figured I'd give it a chance. But yeah, I'll tell you this, what little bit of art I did see from the intro cinematic, as well as the music, it looks like it'd be a really great game. And my computer looks like it'd be perfectly fine to handle it. Like, it plays it just fine. I haven't actually launched the game. I mean, I've launched the game, but I haven't pushed the play, the story. I've just seen the opening cinematic and the title screen. So, it'll work just fine, I'm pretty sure. It's just OBS won't. Like, every time I try... And here's the thing, OBS, I could technically record the audio of the game just fine. I can still make OBS work. It's just the moment I try to make OBS actually capture the window that is displaying the game itself, OBS just completely freaks the fuck out. And just says, like, yeah. Like, I don't get it. But, like, I could record audio from it. Like, I could actually play the game, have audio, have the music of the game, I don't know if the dialogue's in Japanese or English, or if there's options for that. I don't know. But it's just, for whatever reason, if I try to make OBS capture the images that come out of the window for the game, OBS just dies. OBS refuses to capture that game for some reason. Maybe at some point I might figure something out with that. I don't know. But yeah, just OBS doesn't seem to like that game. But the game itself looks like it should be fine. And in terms of being able to be played. So if I wanted to, I could, but, I was more so wanting to do it for a Let's Play, a video for the channel, and something I could, play together with everybody out there. As opposed to just, chilling and playing it on my own. But yeah, I think for now I'll hold off on playing it. Just that way I can play it for the first time, in a video. But yeah, that's just kind of weird. I've never seen... I've had some issues with OBS when it comes to some games. But usually with a game, it's either been an issue of the game itself won't launch at all, or it crashes, or it has a graphical limitation, at which point usually the game itself crashes. But the game looks like it would work just fine. The game doesn't seem to have any difficulty. It's just that OBS just doesn't want to look at it. Like, the moment I try... it'll record sounds from the game, and I can still make a recording while playing the game. It's just, for whatever reason, I can't record images from the window itself. So, for whatever reason, OBS just refuses to record any pictures from that game, which I don't understand why. I've never seen OBS react in that way to a game before. But maybe one day I'll be able to do that. I don't know. But I will say this. From what I saw with the opening cinematic and the way the music was, I think it looks like it would be a great, amazing game. And it would probably be some interesting... It's supposed to be a horror game, so I imagine there would be some things that are a bit scary. But again, I don't know because I haven't played the game. But yeah, that's just the main issue there, is that... To the person who suggested it, again, thank you. I appreciate all suggestions. And I'm always interested in, like, anytime somebody does suggest a game. Like, I think somebody suggested a game called After Dream or something. But, while $12 isn't too much, just, I'm going to wait till it's at least on sale for something off. I'm not going to buy it at full price. Usually, only time I'll buy a game at full price is if it just released, which will probably happen with the Deathmark game, because they're releasing a third Deathmark game in about 3 or so weeks. So the third of the Deathmark games, which are visual novel games that are a bit well known for being a bit scary and unnerving and a bit gory, scary stuff. But yeah, I'll probably pay full price for that because it'll be, release day. But yeah, like I said, again, thank you for the suggestion. I really do appreciate you suggesting the game. Heck, I'm glad you're enjoying this game. You keep saying you're enjoying and looking forward each time I play a new one of these games, a new one of the sickness parts, so thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, granted, I'm kind of a selfish asshole. I mainly just play the games because I just feel like doing the stuff myself, but yeah, it's tough being a tsundere, okay? I actually do enjoy when you guys enjoy the video. It's just most people would think, oh, you put more quality and effort into the videos. I'm like, no, I'm not putting any effort or quality into the videos. I'm just, unless I suddenly feel the urge to do so, but at the end of the day, I just do whatever I feel like. But if you guys enjoy that, that's cool, and I like that. But certainly I can certainly understand a lot of people not enjoying my videos because, well, I can't say anything I do is high quality or really doing anything interesting, and it's not like I'm really making good content. I'm just a random crazy guy playing random games, rambling to himself, usually about stuff that's only of concern to me. But I enjoy Let's Plays, and these games are very interesting. So, well, I do mainly play it for the selfish reason of I just enjoy the games. If any of you out there actually are enjoying the games, or heck, even enjoying my commentary, I appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoy it. Well, let's hop into this. Load game. Okay, here we are. And also the person who suggested it mentioned that probably, when it comes to the way this game is set up, might take more than 2 playthroughs to be able to see everything that goes on in this. Especially a lot of the short endings where you just sort of die, because that's not really meant to be the proper ending of a game. When you're not at work, I want you to spend your free time with my daughter. Teach her about this city, about this foreign culture. Show her that there's more to life than malice and deceit, that we deal with every day. Make her see firsthand that this world isn't completely rotten. But above all, prove to her that life is still worth living. Help people with depression. Gotcha. Damn. How the hell am I supposed to say no to that? It's like, okay, I think her name's Mia. It's like, Mia, this is a Super Nintendo. We're going to play Super Mario World. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Sunday night, October 2nd. As usual, my weekend passed by in the blink of an eye. And for the first time in history, I was actually glad to see it pass. And I wish to double-check OPS. I know everyone's probably tired of hearing me say this, but I enjoy this music. And heck, I was just saying this about the Guilty Gear games, or about the Blaze Blue games, or even other fighting games. Look at this. I know it's a simple thing, but I enjoy the music. I enjoy this artwork. I enjoy the backdrops. I think it's interesting. Take the original Mega Man Legends, the underwater Juno level. Just imagine being able to run around and just enjoy the ambiance of the level, or Bravest Musashi, or Final Fantasy VIII. or even the earlier Final Fantasy. I imagine those are the higher res, updated graphics, but just for the backgrounds. Is it odd I'd want just sort of like a Van Gogh style oil, background painting of like Final Fantasy or Guilty Gear or Blaze Blue or Brave Fence Musashi or Mega Man? And everyone's like, it's just I understand, it's just a little backdrop thing drawn, but it takes a lot of time for somebody to take the effort to draw all this. And it may seem not much to most people, but I think this is awesome. Just this alone. Just the art that goes into a lot of games. The music. Okay, I'll be quiet. The same lack of drama that I craved, paired with my work being complete for the week, led to a peaceful yet painfully boring weekend. Drink some water. I should have grabbed another Pepsi. You guys remember there's a game called Pepsi Man? It was Let's Played by Sam Maxwell Adams of Freelance Astronauts. They also did stuff like the new Super Mario Bros. Wii and Prototype. Funny stuff. Then again, I also like Ultra J-Man, Hypersonic X2, Cloud 8745, Proton John. Like I said, like Let's Plays. Okay, my peaceful yet boring weekend. Painfully boring weekend. Friday night meeting aside, the only noteworthy event in my life recently was my chance encounter with Misa. I didn't know her name at the time, and we'd only met briefly before, but I recognized Misa immediately, and I wasn't terribly happy to see her. Going by her indifference, however, it seems the feelings were one-sided. For Misa to sleep on my shoulder without a second thought, she obviously didn't think our earlier encounter was worth fretting over. Maybe I was just overthinking things. I'm sure she didn't mean any offense. Not that it matters. Now that Sai is tasked me with keeping his daughter company, we'll be spending plenty of time together, whether she wants to or not. Setting aside everything else that has happened over the past week, there remained one aspect of my life which deteriorated and recovered in record time. When Sarah confronted me about my paycheck, I didn't know what was going to happen. She became angry, I fled, and upon return she lashed out. I may be quick to label peace as boring, but when it comes down to it, I'll take boredom over the familial drama any day. Unfortunately, the peace and boredom I've earned has been rather costly. Once again, I found myself lying to my sister, trying to convince her that I'm just an honest, hard-working person. But with the issue likely to arise again in a mere fortnight, and my disappearance is no doubt set to increase, the kind of peace is bound to be short-lived. What currently concerns me most of all isn't my personal life, however, or even my job. Rather, the biggest concern I have right now is my training with Sai. As excited as I am to see what he can teach me, if it's anything like my training with Leon, I doubt I'll even survive. I'm sure the others are good at what they do, but Sai, that man is scary. The others, a supposed group of killers, are deathly afraid of him. One word is all it takes for him to instill fear in his own colleagues, and yet when Sai spoke of his daughter so tenderly, I knew that he couldn't be all that bad. He does what he needs to do in order to survive, and to provide for his family, no matter how others view him for it. He's so strong, so capable and independent, and yet he cares deeply for his family. He really is worthy of admiration. Granting myself a momentary reprieve from my thoughts, I arrived in the same meeting room I had visited earlier in the week. Once again, I was first to arrive, having shown up early so as not to be late. And so, despite my desire to get to work and stay out of my own head, I found myself alone with my thoughts once more. What a waste of time. Tell me about it. The drive over here took longer than the meeting. Now, a quick meeting's a good meeting, I always say. Within 10 minutes of their arrival, my coworkers and I had all sat down, been assigned our work, and begun to depart. I received a single assignment once again, compared to the multiple targets given to most of the others, with Misa and Sai not receiving any. I guess those two just take whatever work is left over, huh? No need to be assigned any. Well, whatever. The important thing is that I have my work for the week. Now it's time to go home. Not so fast. Or not. Here. Sai handed me a stack of blueprints, which I immediately recognized. Blueprints? Wait a minute, aren't those... They're copies of the blueprints Karasu showed you, as well as other floor plans, hidden entrances, and everything else you should know for our upcoming mission. Take them home, study them, memorize every security camera, every alarm, every exit. Wow, these are seriously detailed. I'm amazed Karasu was able to get his hands on these. It'll take a while for me to make sense of them, but these will definitely help. Unlike Misa and Sai, I've never broken in anywhere more luxurious than a vandalized apartment. I'll need every bit of help I can get if I'm going to pull this off, whether my role is noteworthy or not. More importantly, Misa emerged from behind Sai's back and silently moving like the professional killer she is. Misa, have you given any thought to what we discussed? Shake, shake. I see. What about you, Suo? Me? What on earth is he talking about? Curious about where I'll be taking your daughter? Yes, actually. The two of you only have one assignment between you for the week. Have you given any thought as to how you'll spend the rest of your time together? So that's why she wasn't assigned any work. I'll make a save, but... Return to game. I have none. No, I can't say I have. But it isn't the kind of thing that just happens. Sarah and I rarely plan our outings ahead of time. Is that so? And who is this Sarah? What outings do you go on together? Sai doesn't know who Sarah is. No, maybe he's just teasing me. Sarah's my twin sister. We go everywhere together, though she's usually the one to pick where we go. Alright, I'll leave it to you then. Be at Central Park 10 a.m. and escort Misa back here when you're done for the day. Aside from that, it's up to you. Yay! Happy face. Ah? Come along, Misa. She must not be used to talking to people, or at least it takes time to open up. I mean, I can understand. Sometimes, I'm not really sure what you would say in that situation either. As her father began to walk off, Misa opened her mouth as if to finally have her say. The moment she did so, however, Sai ushered her along, robbing her of the opportunity. I'm supposed to juggle my new career as a killer, prepare to rob a multi-billion-dollar company, and date a professional killer, all at the same time. Why does it feel like I'm digging my own grave? Chapter 10. Misa. I don't mind it, but eventually I feel like this will be like Chapter 763.7. Monday morning, October 3rd. Completely oblivious to my absence during the night, Sarah's morning ritual followed the same pattern as always. Wake up, prepare for school, drag my carcass out of bed, make breakfast, then depart. As has become apparently, however, it's not an easy routine to follow when said carcass doesn't return home until the early hours in the morning. But after preparing a bowl of cereal for her worthless brother and kissing him goodbye, Sarah indeed carried on with her day as usual, leaving me with the privacy I needed to work. Weaponry, next-gen armor, all sorts of high-tech gadgets. Everything in here is a decade ahead of its time. It's a wonder Adder even bother with their fake wonder drugs. It's obvious that their primary income doesn't stem from selling medication. The stuff in here looks like it was taken directly out of some sci-fi series. If anyone else had presented me with this, there's no way in hell I'd believed them. And it's all postmodern stuff that nobody in their right mind would come up with. I mean, really, an oscillating blade? What the hell is that? It's a lightsaber. And these personal flight pods? How can you mount submachines to the front of a vehicle yet still claim it's for transport? I mean, it's a safety device. Everything in here is a weapon or made of some kind of war. Do Adders supply the military with this stuff? It's like high-speed medication. Aerial delivery. Are they actually an intelligence agency, like something out of a James Bond film? Or are Adder trying to build an empire, just like Karasu? Knowing my luck, that's exactly what's going on. Karasu and Adder both rushing to build their empires, with me stuck in the middle, working for the side, without a multi-billion-dollar international corporation. All the money in the world isn't sufficient payment for going up against Adder, and I settled on a single house. Just as my stress levels seemed to be rising, I cast a glance at the clock, realizing just what time it was. Among the many work-related matters swirling around my head, there was still one event which could go either way, and even if I had many reservations about my job in general, there's no excuse to keep my date waiting. Leaving my house later than intended. Oh, that reminds me, I want to try to do a Let's Play of Song of Memories at some point. Whenever it's on sale for at least 50% off, I'll probably pick it up. It's a game I platinumed on PS4 like 5-6 years ago or something? I don't know. It's a good game. I arrived at Central Park right on time. I had to push through a surprising amount of foot traffic, and I almost lost my way a couple of times. But at the pace I was walking, I somehow managed. Phew. There are more people out than I expected. Most people should be at work or school by now, so I thought the streets would be relatively empty. Unfortunately, being such a busy part of the city, that's rarely the case. As I wandered around the area, silently cursing Sai's vague meeting place of Central Park, I soon set my eyes on my partner for the morning. Yeah, she looks cute. Though, why not sit in a chair? Why against a tree? Is she nervous? Waiting under the sun's harsh rays was Misa, who already seemed to be enduring the repercussions of her choice in clothing. Between her decision to wear a black jumper and the fact that she was waiting in direct sunlight, the heat was no doubt taking its toll on her, causing visible sweat to form on her face and neck. Why the heck is she wearing a jumper on a day like this? For that matter, why hasn't Misa just removed her jumper? She's obviously uncomfortable. There are probably scars or some sort of marks on her. I would assume that it's something that she's self-conscious about. For reasons beyond my knowledge, Misa continued to endure the unpleasant rays of the morning sun, sweating profusely as she waited for her partner. It would be cruel for me to keep Misa waiting any longer. Time to begin our morning together. Ellipses with question mark. Good morning, Misa. Bow. More ellipses. Questioning look. I guess my greeting didn't merit a reply? Oh well, no use dwelling on it. First of all, we need to decide on what we'll do for the day. I haven't really given any thought, but we should be able to kill at least a few hours, right? Besides, it's for Misa's sake that we're here. Surely she has a destination in mind. So have you given any thought where you would like to go? No. Or not. Apparently it's up to me after all. Where would be a good place to take a nice young girl with a habit of killing people? How about a museum? I'm sure a city this size must have one. Yeah, museums are a nice place to go. I haven't been to one in a long time. Sai did want me to teach her about this culture. After all, and as a girl as quiet as Misa would be most welcome there. Not good, huh? Misa was not impressed. Sai may want our outing to be educational, but that doesn't mean Misa feels the same way. I can't blame her for not wanting to go to an educational facility during her free time. Or perhaps Misa simply doesn't want to be here with me? It's not as though I ever saw her father actually ask if she wanted to go. We could go to the pool, or maybe the movies. The future refused to change. Yay, Chrono Trigger reference. This girl does speak English, right? Fine, let's just walk around town. Nod. It actually is nice going for walks with people. Then again, people think it's weird that I like to walk so much. So this is what the city is like during the day, huh? When I was with Marcus, we spent a lot of time traveling between targets, but we mostly just sat on public transport and went for short walks around smaller districts. Actually walking around in the heart of the city like this during broad daylight is just awful. Misa and I started off walking with a meter or so between us, but as the crowd grew thicker, Misa inched closer to my side. You're not a fan of crowds either, huh? Exclamations. Quietness. I figured as much. Even without Misa saying a word, she clearly feels uncomfortable. Okay, I don't understand why, but okay. And who could blame her, stuck with someone who's more or less a stranger, walking down crowded streets in sweltering heat, dressed in a sweater? Maybe we can go inside a Walmart. They usually have AC in there. But while I can't help the fact that she's stuck with me, I can at least do something about her other sources of discomfort. Oh, malls exist. Okay. Seeking to ease Misa's heat exhaustion, I escorted her to a nearby mall, wherein we immediately reveled in cool air. Feeling better now? Nod. She isn't the only one. On a hot day like today, we really can't beat free air conditioning. Better yet, while there are still more people here than I'd like, it isn't as crowded as on the street. As far as venues goes, this has to be. Before Misa and I could venture any further inside, we're visiting the stores, the sound of her stomach growling reached my ears. Hungry? Nod. Well, we have been walking around for a while. Let's eat, shall we? Was there a smile? I couldn't see. It went by too quickly. Taco heaven. Mario's Grill, Zen Cafe. As Misa and I approached the shopping center, we found a death note lying on a table. We found ourselves swarmed by people once again. We were able to place our orders easily, with Misa simply pointing out what she wanted. But with so many people around, I doubted whether or not we'd get a seat. Honestly, how did we get stuck in the midday rush? We couldn't have been walking around for that long. And though whose bright idea was it to buy lunch in a crowded food court anyway? At least when Marcus and I were collecting, the restaurants we visited were practically empty. If the crowd doesn't disperse, we're going to end up eating while standing. After receiving our orders and making our way to a less crowded part of the food court, Misa and I found our seats at last. In front of me was my order of chicken curry, and before Misa sat her fried rice with sweet pork. The smell alone was enough to make me salivate, especially after walking around with so little in my stomach all morning, so I couldn't wait to dig in. But as I looked across at Misa, she didn't seem to share my enthusiasm. Is something wrong? You please use your words. I don't understand what's happening. Is it possible that I misunderstood Misa's order? She did make her selection with the point of the finger, after all. Or perhaps Misa herself got the order wrong? Sai did make it sound like Misa isn't overly familiar with this country, and I haven't heard her speak a word of English. No, wait, I know what this is. And Sarah thinks I can't read people. How could she not know how to use cutlery? How would that be possible? Never used knife and fork before, huh? Like this. I showed Misa how to cut pork, and then scooped up some pork and rice with the fork and brought it to her mouth. Choo-choo. Yay! Happy face, yum yum. Now that's what I like to see. Oh, she looks happy and pleased. That's cool. Yay! My date is happy. She's eating pork. And rice. Sarah would probably call me intolerant for assuming that was the issue. But you can't argue with results. Just as I can use a knife and fork but can't figure out chopsticks, there's no shame in the reverse being true. Not that Misa seems to have any such issue now. She's a much faster learner than I am. I'll give her that. Too easy, huh? Okay. Happy agreement. As I looked across at Misa's radiant smile, I agree with that. I forgot all about her occupation and sketchy life. If only for a moment. I mean, she's still a person. Whether the girl in front of me was truly a ruthless killer, an unfortunate victim of a father's career, or something in between, all I could see was a young girl enjoying her time above ground. Misa began to happily cut into her food once more, no longer barred by the minor lack of understanding preventing her from letting loose. Wow, Misa must have been hungry. Look at her go! Speaking of which, if I don't hurry up, Misa's going to finish without me. After eating our fill, during which I spent most of my time trying not to laugh at Misa's enthusiasm, the two of us walked around the mall, looking for ways to kill time. We didn't actually visit many stores. hours, but given our goal for the day, giggle, yay, happy face, I'd say the trip was a success. Yay, my date is happy. Continuing to betray the reserved image she earned earlier, Misa excitedly pointed to store after store, quickly eating time as we wandered around aimlessly. This sounds like a cool way to spend the day. I fulfilled my duty as a tour guide by explaining the purpose behind each venue, but for the most part my explanations appear to go in one ear and out the other. Either Misa already knew exactly what the venues were for, or she'd rather go in and experience them firsthand. Having passed the initial hurdle of awkwardness, the time Misa and I spent together soon passed, and before I knew it, it was time to see her off. We hadn't agreed on an exact time, but the sun setting and my sister's return quickly approaching, I thought it was time to end our outing. As per my agreement with Sai, I escorted Misa back to the all-familiar arena. I wasn't told of an exact drop-off point, but this should be fine, right? Karasu's office is only a short walk from here, and I presume that Misa's home, wherever it may be, can't be far from her either. Alright, this is it. I guess I'll see you at the same time tomorrow? If you want. Yay! She wants. What is it? Wave, wave. Okay, have a good night. Weirdo. Despite the fact that she never said a word, Misa took off with a smile, broadcasting her enjoyment without reservation. After seeing Misa off, I arrived back home at an unusually early hour. Since I admitted to my sister that I no longer worked at the warehouse, I had no reason to waste my time in the city, and my work for the week wasn't something I could go off and deal with on a whim. With that in mind, I could arrive home early in the afternoon, guilt-free, and offer Sarah no explanation whatsoever for my return, trusting that she'd rather take peace in my presence than question it. Sarah usually gets home at approximately 4:15 p.m. during the week, giving me almost half an hour before her return. That should give me enough time to bathe and study Sai's blueprints before Sarah gets back. Although I hadn't started working on my assignment for the week, Karasu's other project was still nagging at the back of my mind. Misa had taken up my morning, and I couldn't look over anything work-related in Sarah's presence, so the short gap between the two seemed like my best bet. One shower, one study session later, I returned to the living room awaiting the arrival of my sister. 4:15 had come and gone, but still I waited patiently, anticipating her return. I'm home. 4:30, huh? Well, I was close enough. Sarah probably just missed the bus or something. Afternoon, sis. Yeah. Responding half-heartedly, Sarah immediately averted her gaze, showing no sign of her usual enthusiasm. Unfortunately for Sarah, her aversion simply gave me the opportunity to show twice in one day that even I could read people. I know that look. Which subject are you failing this time? It's not like that, really. Relax. I'm not your father. Besides, my grades were far worse than yours, so I'm in no position to criticize. So which subject is it? History again? Art? Suo, the school counselor asked me to give you this? The counselor? I opened the envelope and read the letter within. They want me to attend a counseling session with you? Yeah, tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Can already guess what the counseling would be about. They do know that it's been over a month since our parents died, right? It's a little late now. Damn, like I don't have enough on my plate already. And what makes the school counselor think they're qualifying for family deaths anyway? Isn't that a little far out of their pay grade? Don't worry, I don't expect you to go. Thank you! You have to work, right? And I'm sure she won't have anything meaningful to say. I agree! You got that right. But you won't get in trouble if I don't show. They'll probably assume that you never gave me the letter. I can just write a letter saying, I saw the letter, but I have to be at work. Because someone has to pay the bills. Oh right, we're having a counseling thing about our parents being dead? I wonder who's paying the bills then! Boy, I'm not you, you know. People actually trust me to do the right thing. I'm a... right thing doing person? There's not been a single bad thing that has occurred in this game. We've just gone to the park, and And there was that one day we had chicken nuggets. Yeah. Ouch. You've got me there. Letters aimed at me were always mailed to our house. I had forgotten about that. Even letters for school events and award ceremonies were mailed to our house. You really did make a bad name for yourself. It's not like I was trying to, I just wanted to avoid unnecessary conflict. By losing your report cards and forgetting that you had detention. Exactly. What do you think would happen if our parents saw my actual grades? Well, despite your efforts, I got to see them in the end anyway. As I recall, Dad patted you on the back, and Mom took away your handheld gaming console. No, not my Pokemon! Yeah, I'd forgotten about that. I should really go back and get some of my games one of these days. Yeah, with the house that we're going to get for, I don't know, Fighting Biotechnica, Umbrella Corporation, Resident Evil. And as I was saying, just leave it to me. If she has anything interesting to say, I'll let you know. On that note, Sarah headed towards our bedroom to get changed, leaving me alone with the letter from school. I felt there was something more Sarah wasn't telling me, and that visiting the counselor together might be amusing. But ultimately I decided to pay the letter no more thought. It could be that the meeting's about something else, but I don't know what. Maybe Sarah's getting in trouble at school, and she's just really good at deflecting? I don't know. As Sarah said, I have work to do. Sarah will pass on any... She was the one who instigated that, initiated bringing that up. Which means maybe the meeting might be about something that she's doing wrong. But even then, yeah, I mean, we are literally a paid assassin. So I don't know if I'm allowed to criticize people. I mean, I'm allowed to criticize for the sake of caring. But even then, I don't really know what's going on. Even if she's in trouble with something. Honestly, she was probably in the right to do whatever she did. So even if Sarah did something bad at school, she was probably justified in doing whatever she did. After all, she's my sister. So I know she would do the right thing, even if the school disagrees. After all, she cooked some really good bowl of fucking cereal. Okay, all joking aside, she's been cooking some good meals since, you know, I've been killing people. At least we're not eating the people. As Sarah said, I have work to do, and Sarah will pass on any important information anyway. So in this case, I'm just glad to have dodged a bullet. As night blanketed the city and my sister fell into a deep sleep, I wandered around the dark streets surrounding my destination for the night. Per my instructions, on my way to Andre's gym, ready for my first night of training with Sai. Andre's gym, huh? It hasn't been that long since our training together, yet it already feels like a long time ago. Since I stopped working as a collector, it seems like this place is always closed, day and night. I guess Andre is back to doing collections. He's dead! Too busy to run a gym on the side of me. Yeah, you can't run a gym if you're dead. Despite the brief flash of nostalgia, my dominant feeling upon entry was unease. The moment I entered the gym, what awaited me was once again a pitch-black venue, and the ominous feeling from last time came back in full force. Damn, I should have known. Before I realized I could feel the icy touch of steel pressed against my throat. Without making a sound, my would-be killers closed the distance between us and drew his weapon, bringing me an inch away from death. I knew immediately that if we were on assignment, and I was the target, I would have died the moment I opened the door. You're dead. The cold, familiar tone reaffirmed what I already knew to be true. Yeah, I know. Fortunately, we were not on an assignment, and I wasn't a target. The person waiting for me was Sai, my new instructor. The one coworker of mine who always looked and acted like a real killer. As Sai let go, the gym gradually grew lighter, revealing the face of my instructor for the night. Here. Wasting no time with idle chatter, Sai immediately threw a pair of knives toward my feet. Knives? What are these for? Do you have to ask? We're here to train, and from what I hear, knives are your specialty. I wouldn't call them my specialty. They're just kind of the only kind of weapon I ever use. It's like, oh, I hear this is your specialty. I'm poor! I can't afford a bazooka! It's like, oh, you use knives on all of your opponents. Yes, because guns cost much. It's not grammar. I can't afford grammar either. Today you'll learn how real killers wield knives. Take this too. As I tried to balance the knives on hand, Sai threw towards me a sealed plastic satchel with jet black clothes inside. A change of clothes? Why do I need to get changed in order to train? Would you rather risk Cutting up your own clothes? Oh. Yeah, that would be bad. Going home with my clothes cut into pieces. What about me? What about my actual flesh underneath the clothes? I'd rather not get that. Even like, oh, you don't want to explain cuts in clothing. How am I going to explain cuts in me? I removed the plastic around the garb and inspected the outfit. This doesn't seem terribly comfortable, but it beats the alternative. It's probably slightly armored. I put on a pitch black outfit and picked my knives up my feet. The clothes were tight and the knives were different than any I used before, but as a whole it didn't feel out of place. Actually, this isn't half bad. I kind of feel like a real assassin. Black, skin-tight clothes, knives, with the express purpose of killing. As I began to marvel at my new outfit, a third presence made itself known. Silently encroaching from near the ring, a being dressed in black walked over, holding in their right hand a sword, the length of which matched their short stature. They walked over slowly, gradually coming into light, but even as the distance between us shortened, the darkness continued to mask their face and body, making it difficult to tell who it was. Are you both ready? Nod. Yeah. Good. Sai breathed in deeply, watching both of his students give their approval as he added one last warning. Careful not to kill him, Misa. Wait, did he just say? Wasting no time, Misa closed the distance between us in the blink of an eye. She swung the blade from her left, narrowly missing my throat, then immediately followed through with a swipe from her right, opening a slit in my new clothes from which drops of blood flew out. Crap, Misa isn't playing around. Practice or not, she's out for blood. Okay, so we need to make a save so we don't accidentally die. Okay, move in. Misa's blade sliced through the air to my right, this time stopping dead the moment it reached my body. Rather than jump backwards, I moved in, holding my body close to Misa, restricting her movement. Swords may have an edge over knives when it comes to reach, but at this distance I have the advantage. Misa needs space in order to move the way she wants. She can't maneuver that thing properly while I'm this close. Fast learner. As Sai's words reached my ear, I calmed down slightly, remembering my other objective. That's right, I need to prove to Sai, prove to everyone that I have what it takes, that my first hit wasn't a fluke. I'll show that Misa once again moved like lightning, positioning herself only a foot in front of me, and readying her blade immediately. She got me. One kill for Misa. It's not just her speed. Misa has deadly accuracy and control. Misa landed only shallow cuts, not deep enough to do any real damage, but she was able to stop her blade a mere inch away from my throat. A real killer indeed. Again. The second command left Sai's mouth. Misa went on the offensive once more. I barely managed to raise my blades in defense as her sword cut in from the side, and took every ounce of my strength to parry her attack with one hand. Keeping my other knife free, I swing at Misa's chest, unsure of where else I could hit her without risking her life. But as I attempted to land my first hit, Misa effortlessly dodged the blade. I'm trying not to kill her! Ducking under the slash without showing even a hint of losing her composure. Your opponent is shorter than you are. Aiming for the chest is pointless. Go for the throat. Sai advised me from the sidelines, no doubt confident I couldn't land a hit on his daughter no matter where I aimed. Rather than attack again, however, I used the lesson I learned from our first bout and moved in closer, brushing Elisa's blade aside as I escaped her optimal strike zone. Or at least I tried to. She also can learn. As I moved in, Misa gracefully glided under my grasp and navigated her way around my body. Bereft of hesitation and difficulty alike, Misa once again positioned her blade at my throat, signaling the end of our second round. 2 kills for Misa. Suo, don't underestimate your opponent because of her size. She's much faster and more nimble than you could ever hope to be. No kidding. Misa isn't particularly strong, despite the fact that she's wielding a sword with 2 hands. I was able to block her with a single knife wielded in one hand, but what she lacks in strength she more than makes up for in her speed and dexterity. Again, if I'm going to land even a single blow, I need to learn how to counter her speed, and if I don't do it soon, well, she can only cut me so many times before I keel over. 2 long, sweaty, painful, death-defying hours passed, and at long last we called it a night. 4 wins, 168 losses. I lost by a landslide. Though we took short periodic breaks, those 2 hours were predominantly spent in combat. Our matches grew longer as the night progressed, partly because I grew accustomed to fighting with Misa one-on-one, but mostly because she simply lacked my stamina. Thanks to that, I actually managed to win a few matches toward the end. Of course, as Misa's exhaustion became evident to me, even me, Sai naturally called an end to the night's training. 4 wins on your part, not bad at all. You've improved dramatically over the last 2 hours. So he says, but we both know it was only due to Misa's mercy and exhaustion that I lasted as long as I did. Misa cut me fast and shallow without a moment's hesitation, making incisions light enough that I could continue to fight, but deep enough to hurt and bleed plenty. I hope you're right. Isn't Sarah going to ask about that stuff? I was really getting my ass kicked for a while there. Misa handed me some band-aids. Oh, thank you, Misa. And bandaged after we finished, which I promptly used to close up the innumerable cuts she inflicted upon me. Luckily, there were no terribly deep cuts, plenty of small, painful cuts, but nothing that wouldn't heal within a week. With my wounds dressed, I had changed back into my regular clothes, presuming that our night was at its end. Tired. Have fun, Misa? As exhausted as our training set left Misa, she was still able to summon as much enthusiasm as ever. I guess it's probably more fun to be on the giving end of cuts like these, huh? Not that I didn't enjoy myself. Anyway, that will do for tonight. Same time tomorrow morning and evening. Fidget. Wave. Sir? It's nothing. Don't get yourself killed. The next day. Tuesday morning, October 4th. After wishing my sister luck as she goes to the school counselor, I spent the remainder of my morning going over Karasu's blueprints, studying them devotedly. Despite making little sense to me, the blueprints allowed me at least to memorize the layout of the research facility, which in turn eased my anxiety about the imminent break-in. Even given my minor role, and considering that I'd be working under Sai's tutelage, I still felt more anxious than I'd care to admit. As the morning dragged on, however, my worries were overshadowed by an event of more immediate importance. Wave. Good morning, Misa. Smile. Well, someone's in a good mood this morning. Yesterday morning, Misa seemed utterly indifferent. It wasn't until later in the day that she started to open up a little bit. Going by her playful smile today, however, it seems yesterday's efforts definitely had a positive effect, even if it didn't show during training last night. So, give it any thought to where you would like to go today. Point. The fountain. Maybe go to beach? You go see the water up close, right? Like the swimming pool or the beach? Nod. Did you bring any swimming gear? Oh, come on, that question hardly warrants confusion. No, wait, could it be that she only wants to see the water and not go swimming? You just want to walk along the water and not actually enter it? Nod. Well, that's fine by me. What this girl finds enjoyable may be confusing, but at least she's easy to please. Unfortunately, though semi-rural in some areas of this massive city, Richmond is by no means close to the sea. There are several lakes just outside its borders and a few indoor pools within, but the actual ocean would take half a day to reach via public transport. So until my sister's next overnight field trip, whenever the hell that is, Misa will just have to settle for the next best thing. What a pain. Sir? Forget it, I'll fill you in later. You came here for a reason, right? Of course. Mindful of recent changes in staff, I've sent our feelers out for potential new recruits. In particular, my focus has been on able-bodied men and women currently working for Adder and its direct competitors. The research is ongoing, but I have high expectations. I believe I should be able to process the first batch of insiders as early as next week. I see. You've already making the most of your free time, aren't you? Now that you have a babysitter. Now, don't be like that. It's a good thing she's happy. You're happy. She's happy. It's a good thing. She's happy. You're happy. And when you two are happy, so am I. I couldn't have hoped for a better arrangement. If you say so. I just need you to do one little thing for me. Yes? I want you to assign one of the younger recruits to tail your babysitter's sister? Why? His sister? 24/7 surveillance. They are not to act without command or engage the target. The second anything of interest happens, they will report it directly to me. Do we have an understanding? Yes, sir. Okay. But why, though? After a lengthy bus ride, Misa and I walked to a nearby lake. The bus itself was practically empty. No doubt because most people were in school or at work, and from the moment we set foot outside, it seemed as though we had the lake to ourselves. Maybe we should have stopped to buy swimming gear after all. I couldn't say I'm a fan of the water, but it seems like a waste not to swim when we had the place to ourselves. Happy face! Of course, Misa seems to be having fun regardless. Yesterday we met in the heart of the city. Misa, no doubt, lives near our workplace, so it wouldn't surprise me if she rarely gets to see water like this. Gasp! Something about the art style kind of reminds me of a game I played almost 3 years ago, called Crimson Gray. It actually had a sequel as well. Played that too. After walking a while longer, Misa and I stopped near a riverbed. She looked over at the water, seemingly captivated by an unfamiliar sight. Never been this far away from the city before? Shake, shake. I can't say I'm surprised. Sai doesn't exactly seem like the type to go on an outing like this. Furthermore, we are pretty far away from the city, so it's not like the kind of destination you accidentally stumble across. While making the most of it, it's a fairly long trip out here, so we can't come here too often. Sad face. Misa ran off again, brushing off my words as she skipped alongside the lake. Looking at her now, it's hard to believe that I managed to wear Misa down during our training last night. I may have more stamina than her, but Misa seems like she could run all day, and if we had that much time to kill, she probably would. Unfortunately, this isn't going to happen. While I can appreciate that we need to spend time together in order to work as a team, we can't put off work indefinitely. Since we spent yesterday and today playing around, we can only have another 3 days to scout out and execute our targets. That may be plenty for someone with Misa's experience, but for a person like me, still new to the job, I'm anxious to get started. Work before play, Misa. You may not want to abide by that mantra, but I do. Exhibiting energy I could only dream of possessing, Misa ran herself ragged alongside the lake until even the sun's rays appeared to falter. We wasted hour after hour accomplishing nothing at all, as I simply watched Misa run and play. As the day dragged on, however, her energy eventually started to wane, signaling the end of our outing. How'd you feel, Misa? Yay! Finally, I was beginning to think we'd be here all night. But now that she's gotten to play to her heart's content, Misa can't complain about finally getting to work. Great, in that case, are you ready to head back? We should still have time to at least scout out our target's residence, right? Don't be like that, we have a job to do. Gasp. Why gasp? What? Suddenly realizing that she had forgotten something important, Misa found a brochure out of her jumper, practically forcing it into my hand. For 3 days only, come see the amazing. You want to go to the circus? Nod, nod. It just never ends, huh? Our time together for today hasn't even ended, yet Misa's already planning our next outing? It means it's not that I mind. Hell, if anything, I'm glad. It just means Misa is enjoying her time. I mean, that's nice. I mean, if anything, when you hang out with somebody, you want both people to enjoy the time together. But aren't we ever going to get to work? Actually, maybe this is just the leverage I need. Alright, let's go to the circus. Yay! After work. Sad face. Frumpy. Don't you dare pout. What would your father say if you were trying to ditch work to have fun? Come on. We'll go tomorrow, okay? For today, we should at least scout the target out. Sigh. Okay. Well, that's more like it. I hope Misa would listen recently. I can't say I'm terribly enthusiastic about such an outing, but if that's what it takes to solicit Misa's cooperation, then so be it. And so on that note, at long last, it is time for work. With play over for the day, Misa and I stopped by my house, giving me time to grab our target's files before heading out to work. Our destination is a small city called Trenton, which rests near the outskirts of our cursed city of Richmond. It's a boring town, which many seem to think is just far enough away to be safe from the influence of its next-door neighbor. Considering the reason for our visit, however, perhaps that is merely wishful thinking. As we rode the train to our neighboring city, I pulled out our target's file. Unlike with my first paid kill, this time around I want to be prepared. I'm not waiting in some disgusting apartment all day, bored out of my mind. I won't be the sloppy rush job it was last time. I'll show that I've improved, and that I'm capable of improving further. With that thought in mind, I opened our target's file. Tony Roth, 43 years old, works 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays at a local warehouse, no work on weekends. He's a grunt turned desk jockey, chronic smoker, yet quite overweight. More to the point, it seems Mr. Roth has been held on multiple counts of domestic violence, but never charged. His wife refused to testify, even after he put her in the hospital for almost a month. The police can't do much without her testimony or witness, and she never pursues any kind of legal action against him. It's been a hopeless no-win situation for everybody but Mr. Roth. Really should have brought Pepsi. Until now. I don't know who commissioned his murder, how much I'll be getting paid, or even if I'll make it a clean break. After all I know is that I'm going to enjoy this way more than I should. My first kill was an accident, and my first commissioned target was someone I didn't know the first thing about. Even if they both deserved it, I didn't feel good about what I did. But this is different. A wife beater? Lying his way out of trouble, scaring his wife into dropping all charges, abusing loopholes in law, all just so that he can go ahead and do the same damn thing all over again? I can't wait. While thinking violent thoughts, I headed toward Mr. Roth's house, strolling through one empty street at a time. Being the middle of the day, Mr. Roth was at work, as were most of his neighbors, leaving his house wide open and more accessible than usual. Upon arriving at Mr. Roth's house, however, breaking in was the last thing on my mind. This place is infinitely better than the city streets we patrolled just yesterday. The silence and fresh air of this underpopulated town is something I could easily get used to. Small town, low population, empty streets, and no industrial buildings. There might not be much work here for someone in my current situation, but I get the feeling that the trade-off would be worthwhile. So, this is it, huh? Not bad, I didn't think the guy would be so well off. I don't understand what you're questioning. You don't think he's lucky to own a house like this? I'd kill to live here. I mean, we technically do. Now there's a thought. Wonder how much a home like this would go for if people knew its occupants were slaughtered. Claire. I don't understand. Eh? Crap, Misa can read thoughts. No, wait. I said the first part out loud, didn't I? Wait, you wouldn't like to live in a place like this? Fresh air, quiet streets, few people? Huh. Nod. That's what I thought. But the first time being, let's work on emptying this house. Mies and I took a closer look at the house in question, starting with the pursuit of an entry point. Despite being a seemingly simple enough task, we found that the windows were all locked into place, and the house had no back door. Isn't that a safety violation? Given my inability to pick locks, aren't all houses required to have a back door? Given my inability to pick locks, and the veranda is probably the only feasible option here, nobody would bother to lock the door to a second-story veranda, and the occupants certainly wouldn't see it coming. The question is, how would I even get up there? I could provide Misa with a boost, then get her to unlock the front door, but that would naturally depend on Misa's willingness to go along with such a plan. I could also try to jump on the veranda from the side, similar to what I did with the Kai household, but the railing doesn't look sturdy enough to hold my body weight, and I didn't get away unscathed the last time I tried that. Okay, we're going to call that a video for today. So, later everybody.